Hey guys, it's Rachel. So it's been quite a while since I did my last video about my job. It was called My Job Story. And I was so surprised to see that there was actually a lot of you guys who are really interested in learning more about what I do and kind of an overview of the beauty industry and kind of how I got in. So I decided to do kind of an update and tell you guys a little bit more of the specifics about my job. And if you've already seen my original job story, I might be a little bit repetitive, but I hope you guys will enjoy learning, hearing a little bit more about my life and my job. So I'm really excited because I was recently promoted. So I've been with Estee Lauder on the brand Origins for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years right after Labor Day in September. And I'm so happy to be in with such an amazing company and really feel blessed every day, and I'm happy to share with you guys a little bit of how I got started and where I am today. So long story short, kind of, is that fell in love with makeup in high school, and then in college I actually sold Avon's trend brand, which is called Mark, and it was a great way to meet new people in college because I went to school in Nashville. I'm from Kentucky, and I went to school in Nashville and I didn't really know anyone, so it was a fun way to kind of meet new girls in my dorm room and make a little extra money. And also in college I worked at a small local makeup store that was kind of like a Sephora, but just a local store. That was a really great experience too. I think working in retail is really important. If you want to work in fashion or beauty, it's really great to start in retail and kind of understand that part of the business, because when you work in a corporate office, you kind of have to think about the people who are working at the stores and how to motivate them and what excites them, because they're the ones that are really on the front lines. So yeah, so in college that's what I did, and then I was lucky enough to intern for Avon for the brand Mark as a social media intern. I started after my freshman year of college. They had kind of an open call out, I don't know what you call it, I would call it an audition, but open interview for anyone who was actually a representative of Mark to be an intern in New York City. So I applied, and actually the woman who did my phone interview and was kind of in charge of the internship program is now the head of sales at at Origins. So sorry, but I'll get into that later. She just believed in me, and that was so incredible. To this day, I owe so much to her in my mind. Because she really believed in me when I was a young 18-year-old kid and the only thing on my resume was lifeguard. So that's kind of how I got started. I did the internship in New York City, and my job was really to help manage our Facebook page, really understand the brand voice, speaking for representatives but also for consumers in a really young, trendy way. And I also worked on our Twitter account, and all the interns had different projects, and my project was actually to work on a sweepstakes for a lunch with Lauren Conrad, who at the time was our kind of the face of Mark. She was our brand ambassador. So that was a really cool big project to work on, and each of the interns, there were 12 of us, had a different mentor who was our manager, but also the person who really worked with us one-on-one, answered our questions, and helped us move forward in our career. And I was so lucky to have Anne-Marie as my mentor, and she's someone I'm still keep in touch with. She now works in Florida for HSN in an incredible role there. So fast forward to to 2012, I decided that I really wanted to continue a career and pursue a career really in the beauty industry and in social media, because that's really what I fell in love with. And I was lucky to be able to start pretty early on in social media as a young person in an industry, or in a job function that's really new and growing. So and I recommend it to anyone. I think social media is really intuitive for people that are Generation C, Generation Connected, Generation Y, Millennials, whatever you want to call it. But we instinctively understand social media, and it's not, I don't mean to say that you just have to have a Facebook page to be able to have a career in social media. You have to really love it and understand it and see it from a business perspective. But what am I going to say? So I moved to New York in May of 2012, wanting to work in the beauty industry, and at that point I decided that Mark was not exactly the route that I wanted to go. So I basically made an Excel spreadsheet, I kid you not, of any brand I would consider working for. Mostly beauty brands, anything from, you know, Maybelline, Revlon, to Tweezerman, and anything in between, and then also some fashion brands that I had a strong affinity towards. And then I put in the next column, you know, who I knew or maybe knew that worked there or had a connection there. And really just started calling people that I had met through my internship, that I had met in a number of ways. And I realized that I'm forgetting a key component to my success is that I also feel that when I started a YouTube channel during my internship at Mark, it was a great way to kind of jump in head first into this influencer space, and also to understand how to build a brand in even a small way, that this channel is itself a brand, that RachMartino is a brand, and also having a blog. So that is another way. You know, people ask me, you know, how do you break into the beauty or fashion industry? I think having an online presence, even if you're not going to work in social media, but having a presence online beyond just your, you know, social channels, and of course with your social channels being very careful and professional always. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I moved to New York in May of 2012, right after graduating from Belmont, where I was a French and English double major. I called everyone on my list and ended up speaking with Janet, who was the woman who gave me my phone interview and helped coordinate the Mark internship program, and she told me that there was a great position at Origins for a community manager, and they were looking for someone new. So I had my first interview, I remember, in April over the phone with the HR team at Estee Lauder, and I wasn't hired until September. So a lot of the beginning of the job process can be really slow, especially if it's for a really large company. So just keep that in mind. Doesn't mean that they don't want you necessarily. You just really have to be patient. And during that time, I still lived in New York and worked a couple part-time jobs, and it was really a tough time for me. Even if it was only a summer, it's hard to live in New York without a great full-time job. You guys, I think I'm getting lipstick on my teeth. Anyway, so my role now at Origins is community manager. And I was actually just promoted this week, which is really exciting. I'm gonna move into a global role. So previously I was only working on North America, our North America Facebook page and social media networks, but now I'll be also assisting our regions in the teams throughout the world with their social media strategy, alongside my boss, he's a great mentor to me, and I think that that's also something really important, is to really seek out mentors and to go beyond just the day-to-day, you know, manager role for them. You just really to kind of learn every day, to learn and grow in your role, and to really just listen to everything everyone around you says, and to kind of take that into consideration with everything you write, everything you do. And I guess that's a little bit about my job story. For me, I think the key things were to always be a hard worker, to listen, and to, you know, accept criticism. It's still something I'm not very good at, but to take criticism, to understand it, and to move forward with what you're working on, and to always be try to be one step ahead, try and understand what's happening in the industry, you know, keeping up with what's going on. You know, for me, it's a lot of reading relevant magazines or newspapers, and of course online blogs, to really get a sense of where you see things going, and to kind of adapt and react in the moment. So that's just a little update on my job and my life. If you guys have any more specific questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.